Welcome to Startup Hack. Today we're going to talk about what hardware do you need to become a software developer. I get this question all the time. Now, I've worked as a developer for 25 years and I've helped hire hundreds of different developers. And so I've really experienced into what a developer needs in order to be able to begin doing software development. So let's go through a little bit today and talk about some of the things that you're going to want to have to become a successful software developer. Now, one of the first things that I'm going to go through is that the actual system itself, pretty much any modern system, actually will work pretty well for becoming a software developer. Most modern computers that have been built within the last 3 to 4 years, I would say, really are mostly fast enough to run Visual Studio. And so we teach .NET here at Startup Hack in our coding bootcamp. And so really to be able to run Visual Studio, which is the main tool that you're going to use as a software developer, most modern computers are fast enough. Let's go into some of the hardware you might need then. So first off, you're going to need a dual monitor or else a really wide or extra large monitor. Now, this is really important because very frequently as a developer, you're going to need to stand up things side by side with each other. And so a really large monitor or dual monitors is really pretty critical in order to become a good software developer. This is because you're doing a lot of Googling on one screen and then coding on another, or you're reading a set of requirements or looking at a set of specs and then coding it on the other screen. You also will be able to be reading one thing, coding over here, and looking at a web browser over here. So as you're working against these different individual monitors and these different pieces, gone are the days where you can just work on one small monitor. It just simply is not efficient. You're context switching, and by the time you're switching between windows, different inputs are forgotten. You're copying and pasting from one thing to another. So you really have to have either dual monitors or also an extra large monitor. A lot of the new widescreen monitors are great, where you can actually get multiple windows up at one time to be able to view and work in both windows at the same time. So that's absolutely the first and most critical piece. Now, the next part that I'm going to talk about is a good keyboard. You can develop carpal tunnel syndrome, and so having a good keyboard is really important. Some people really like mechanical keyboards that click, 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 and they really like that. I personally prefer an ergonomic keyboard to keep my wrists healthy since I've been typing for a long time and I'm starting to become an old man. There's a lot of different things, but ultimately a keyboard you like. You don't want to be typing on a cruddy laptop keyboard. You want to make sure that you have a good keyboard that you're comfortable with, because you're going to be touching that keyboard a lot, and that's going to be your main thing, your main interface between you and the computer. So get a good keyboard. A good mouse is also equally handy. Some people like the ball mice. Some people like a really touch-sensitive mouse. What you definitely don't want to be doing is using a touchpad on your laptop. That's a terrible idea. It's a great way to really harm your wrists, and you'll be super inefficient. So get a good mouse, whatever it is. Some people like the track. There's lots of different mice out there. Try a couple of different ones and make sure that you really like the one that you're using. Next is a good chair or ball. Now, I personally like to sit on a ball, but I'll deviate back and forth between a chair or a ball. If you're gonna have a chair, make sure you have a really good chair and that you set it to be sitting in a good ergonomic position. Nothing's gonna hurt your back faster than sitting for hours a day coding on a computer in a bad chair or in a bad position. So make sure you get a really good ergonomic setup and make sure you take care of yourself this way. Now, a lot of people along with this also really like standing desks. Standing desks have become hugely popular, especially over the last 5 years as prices have come down. This is a desk that allows you to be able to raise up so you can stand and code while your desk is up high, or to be able to drop down low to be able to sit into a chair. Various people give various different opinions about them, but a standing desk will become very popular. Now, lastly, as far as the computer itself, the most important thing if you're going to upgrade something with your computer is to make sure it has tons of RAM. So RAM is random access memory, or the memory, the volatile memory that your computer has. You want to make sure you have lots of RAM. Why? Because like I talked about with the monitors, you're going to have multiple things open, you're going to be switching between things, and Visual Studio is a huge hog of RAM. The more RAM you have, the more it'll be able to load up into memory. But in general, if you're going to look for the one main thing, video card doesn't matter for programming. The CPU can matter a little bit if it's really old, but any modern CPU made in the last 2 or 3 years likely is going to be totally fine, but tons of RAM. The more RAM you can get, the better. I would say 8 gigs is absolutely the bare minimum. 16 is really preferred, and 32 is fantastic. If you can get 8 gigs of a minimum, 16 gigs as an ideal, and 32 gigs is fantastic. Pretty much any other modern system from there will run. So I'm curious to hear what you think I've missed in this list if you are a developer. And if you're not a developer, go and check out startuphack.com. We're giving away a free set of tuition. So make sure you go and sign up and get signed up so that you can start and change your life today and jump to a 6-figure salary in the next year. So make sure you go and sign up down below. Hit that link so that you can enter to win in this sign up to give away the free tuition. And we'll catch you next time.